Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share something powerful with you. Something that can completely change the way people see you and the way you see yourself. Imagine walking into a room and every eye turns to you. Not because you are the loudest, not because you are the richest, and not because you are trying to show off, but because your presence is so strong that people feel it before you even speak. This is not arrogance. This is not fake bravado. This is something deeper, something rare, something powerful. It is called dark confidence. Dark confidence is not about smiling all the time, and it is not about being the life of the party. It is the quiet strength inside you that says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and nothing can shake me. Today, my friend, you are going to learn how to build this kind of confidence. Not the weak kind that disappears when life gets hard, but the kind that makes you dangerously confident. So strong that no insult, no rejection, no failure can stop you. If you stay with me until the end, I promise you will feel different. You will see yourself in a new way, and you will never again beg for approval from anyone. Let's begin. Part 1. What is dark confidence? Confidence is something we all hear about. People tell you to be confident, as if it is a simple switch you can turn on and off. But normal confidence, the kind most people talk about, is fragile. It is like a balloon. From the outside, it looks big and full. It floats in the air, shiny and attractive. But the truth is, it is weak. One sharp word, one moment of failure, one look of disapproval can make it burst. Suddenly, all that confidence disappears, and you are left with nothing but doubt. Think about it. When people like you feel good about yourself. You smile, you feel valuable, you feel important. But if people dislike you, if they criticize you, you suddenly shrink inside. Your value feels smaller. Or consider success. If you achieve something, you feel powerful. You feel unstoppable. But the moment you fail, your self-belief falls apart, and you feel worthless. This is the problem with ordinary confidence. It depends too much on outside conditions. It is fragile because it is built on approval, success, and the opinions of others. But dark confidence is different. Dark confidence is not like a balloon that floats only when the air is inside. Dark confidence is like a mountain. A mountain does not move when the wind blows. It does not collapse when there is a storm. It does not change its size or shape depending on what people say about it. The mountain simply stands, strong, steady, unshaken. Whether people admire it or ignore it, the mountain remains. And that is what dark confidence feels like inside you. When you have dark confidence, you no longer care about applause. You no longer crave permission to act. You do not beg for approval. Instead, you live from a deeper place. You carry a silent strength that says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and nothing can shake me. This is not arrogance, and it is not pride. It is a calm knowing of your worth. And when you know your worth, the world cannot take it away. The most powerful part of dark confidence is this. Once you have it, people cannot control you anymore. They cannot use your fears against you. They cannot make you feel small with their opinions. Their rejection no longer defines your value. Their approval no longer decides your happiness. You stand on your own, and that independence makes you dangerous in the best way. You see, the world fears a person who cannot be broken. Most people can be controlled with fear, shame, or rejection. But the person with dark confidence is free from those chains. They live with an inner strength that shines without asking for attention. They do not need to explain themselves. They do not need to prove anything. And that quiet, unshaken energy is more powerful than any loud display of confidence. Dark confidence is not about being better than others. It is about being unshakable within yourself. It is about carrying a presence that does not need approval to exist. And here is the truth. That presence can be yours. You don't need to pretend, you don't need to fake it, and you don't need to wait for permission. The moment you choose to build this deeper kind of confidence, you step into a life where rejection, insult, and failure cannot control you. You become solid like the mountain. You become calm like still water. And most importantly, you become free. That is why I call it dangerous. Because once you unlock dark confidence, you will never again live as a slave to the opinions of others. You will never again shrink just because someone doubts you. You will never again beg for recognition. Instead, you will walk into any room and carry an energy that cannot be ignored. And whether they love you or hate you, they will feel it. They will know you are unbreakable. And that person, the one the world cannot break, that person can be you. Part 2. The Enemy of Confidence. Let me tell you the truth. The biggest enemy of confidence is not failure, it is not weakness, and it is not a lack of talent. The biggest enemy of confidence is fear of judgment. This fear hides in the background of our lives, shaping our choices, controlling our words, and limiting our actions. It whispers in our ear every time we want to step forward. It says, "What will they think of me?" And just like that, we stop ourselves before we even begin. Think about it carefully. Why don't most people raise their hands to speak up in public? It is not because they have nothing to say. It is because they are terrified of saying something wrong and looking foolish. Why don't most people go after the opportunities they secretly dream about? It is not because they are unqualified. It is because they fear rejection. Why don't they approach the person they admire or express how they truly feel? It is not because they don't care. It is because they are afraid of being laughed at, ignored, or humiliated. The fear of judgment is like an invisible cage. It traps you inside, not with physical walls, but with thoughts of what if. What if they don't like me? What if they think I'm stupid? What if I fail and everyone sees it? These questions keep spinning in your mind until you convince yourself that it is safer to stay silent, safer to stay still, safer to remain invisible. And in that moment, your confidence dies before it even has a chance to breathe. But let me ask you this. Who are these others that you fear so much? Who are these people whose opinions seem more important than your own life? The truth is, they are just like you. They also have insecurities. They also make mistakes. They also wake up some mornings feeling lost and uncertain. They also fear being judged. You are not the only one carrying these worries. Almost every person you meet is carrying the same fear. And yet, you let their imagined thoughts control your reality. Here is the great secret that can set you free. Everyone is too busy worrying about themselves to really spend much time thinking about you. The person you fear is not lying in bed at night analyzing your every move. They are lying in bed worrying about their own problems, their own failures, their own future. The judgment you fear is not as heavy or as real as you imagine. Most people forget what you did or said within hours, sometimes within minutes. The moment you truly understand this, the chains of fear begin to break. You stop giving away your power to opinions that do not matter. And in that space, your confidence starts to grow. Confidence does not grow in perfection. It grows in freedom. The freedom to act without needing constant approval. The freedom to try even if you fail. The freedom to live on your own terms instead of shrinking under imagined eyes. Dark confidence begins the day you stop living for their approval. It begins the day you stop asking, "What will they think of me?" and instead ask, "What do I think of me?" Because in the end, it is not their judgment that will shape your future. It is your own belief. The world will always have opinions, but your life belongs to you. And the day you choose to live by your own standard instead of theirs, that is the day true confidence is born. Part 3. Building Dark Confidence. Now you may be asking yourself, how do I build this kind of confidence? Is it natural? Is it something only lucky or special people have? Maybe you think confident people are born that way, and if you weren't born with it, then it is impossible for you. But the truth is different. Dark confidence is not something you are born with. It is not a gift given only to a few. It is something you build. And you build it step by step, like building a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Think of someone lifting weights at the gym. On the first day, they cannot carry much. The weight feels heavy, their arms shake, and they may even feel embarrassed. But if they return every day, lifting a little more each time, they grow stronger. In a few months, they can lift what once felt impossible. Confidence is exactly the same. You don't wake up one morning suddenly fearless. You become fearless by practicing, by facing discomfort, and by growing through challenges. Let me now share with you the foundations of dark confidence, the principles that make it strong, unshaken, and lasting. Silence over noise. Most people think confidence is about being loud, showing off, or announcing how great they are. But that is not true confidence. That is insecurity dressed as confidence. A truly confident person does not need to prove themselves with words. They do not need to brag. They do not need to beg for attention. Their silence speaks louder than someone else's shouting. Dark confidence means you speak less and do more. You let your results, your actions, and your presence speak for you. People notice real strength not because you are noisy, but because your energy carries weight. Control. Over emotions. Dark confidence is calm. It is not about exploding with anger when things go wrong. It is not about walking with pride, trying to look bigger than others. True strength is the ability to remain centered no matter what happens. If someone insults you, you do not need to fight back. If someone challenges you, you do not need to panic. Confidence is knowing that no matter what happens around you, you remain in control of yourself. That calmness is power. People are drawn to those who are not shaken by chaos. Action over excuses. A lot of people talk about what they want. They say, One day I will do this. One day I will try that. But talk alone does nothing. Excuses kill confidence. Action builds it. A confident person does not wait until they are ready. They move forward even when they are afraid. Every step you take, even a small one, adds strength to your belief in yourself. Confidence grows through action. The more you act, the less power fear has over you. Acceptance of failure. You cannot be truly confident if you are terrified of failure. Fear of failure keeps most people frozen. But dark confidence looks failure in the face and says, I will fail, and that's fine. I will learn, and I will rise again. Every successful person you admire has failed many times. What makes them different is that they did not let failure define them. Instead, they turned failure into fuel. Confidence comes from knowing that even if you fall, you will stand again. Independence of approval. This is the deepest and most powerful foundation of dark confidence. The ability to live without needing applause. Most people live like performers on a stage. They act, speak, and even dream only for the approval of others. But when you have dark confidence, you stop performing. You stop living for the claps and the cheers. You stop worrying about criticism because you understand that life is not a stage for them. It is a journey for you. Approval feels nice, but you don't depend on it. Criticism stings, but it does not stop you. You are no longer tied to other people's opinions. You live for yourself, and that independence makes you unshakable. So remember this. Dark confidence is not built in one moment. It is not about suddenly transforming overnight. It is built piece by piece, day by day, through silence, control, action, failure, and independence. Every time you choose these foundations, you grow stronger. And if you keep building, there will come a day when you no longer doubt yourself, no longer beg for permission, no longer shrink in fear. Instead, you will stand like a mountain, solid, steady, unshaken. That is the power of building dark confidence. Part 4. The dark side of confidence. When you start building real, unshakable confidence, you will notice something very strange. People around you will not all clap for you. Some will admire you, yes, but others will start to feel uncomfortable. And you must understand this clearly. Dark confidence is not about pleasing everyone. It is about standing so firmly in your own truth that you no longer bend for approval. But when you do this, not everyone will celebrate it. In fact, some will label you as arrogant. Some will misunderstand your strength as coldness. Some will even try to drag you down. Why does this happen? It's because your growth becomes a mirror. When you walk with confidence, it silently reminds people of what they lack. Your strength makes them aware of their weakness. Your freedom makes them notice their own chains. Your silence makes their noise feel shallow. And instead of learning from you, many will choose the easier path. They will criticize you. They will try to put labels on you so that they can protect their fragile self-image. You must expect this. It is the natural reaction of insecure minds when they meet someone who no longer plays by the rules of approval. But here lies the truth. Confidence is not about being liked. If your goal is to be liked by everyone, you will never be free. You will always be a prisoner, wearing different masks depending on who is in front of you. Real confidence is not about being liked. It is about being respected. And respect comes from strength, not from begging for validation. Respect comes from people seeing that you cannot be shaken easily, that you stand firm when others bend, that you remain silent when others scream. Think about this. Popularity is a flame. It burns brightly for a short time, and then it dies out. People are quick to like you when you entertain them, but their attention moves away just as quickly. Respect, however, is different. Respect is a fire that burns slowly, steadily, and deeply. It does not vanish with time. When people respect you, even if they don't like you, they cannot deny your presence. They cannot deny your strength. They may whisper behind your back, but in their hearts, they know you are someone not to be ignored. This is why you must never fear being disliked. Being disliked by some people is proof that you are no longer a slave to approval. It shows that you are living for your own values, not theirs. It shows that you have entered the world of dark confidence, where silence is louder than noise, where strength is deeper than appearance, and where respect is valued far above popularity. So when someone calls you arrogant, let them. When someone misunderstands your calmness as pride, let them. When someone feels threatened by your strength, let them. Do not shrink yourself to make them comfortable. Instead, stand even taller. Walk even stronger. Speak even less. Because the truth is, the world does not need more people who are liked. It needs more people who are respected. And that is the power of the dark side of confidence. Part 5. Daily Practices to Become Dangerously Confident. Dark confidence is not something you wake up with one morning. It does not appear overnight like magic. It is a result of consistent actions, repeated daily, until they shape your character. Just like a muscle, confidence grows when you train it regularly. And just like a muscle, if you stop using it, it weakens. This is why your habits matter more than your wishes. You cannot wish yourself into confidence. You must train yourself into it. So let me give you some practical habits that you can start applying today. Small actions that will slowly but powerfully change the way you walk, speak, and live. The first practice is simple but powerful. Look people in the eye. Eye contact is one of the strongest signals of confidence, and yet most people avoid it. They look down, they look away, or they look at their phone because they are afraid of being seen. But when you hold calm, steady eye contact, something changes. It does not mean staring aggressively or trying to intimidate. It means showing presence. It tells the world, I am here. I am not hiding. I am not afraid of being seen. You will notice how people respond differently to you when your eyes carry quiet strength. The second practice is speak slowly. Insecure people rush their words because they are afraid no one is listening. They speak fast, almost as if they are apologizing for taking space. But people with confidence know their words have weight, so they do not hurry. They pause. They let their voice carry. They are not afraid of silence between sentences. When you speak slowly, you not only show control, you also gain it. You will notice that others lean in, listening more carefully. Control your voice, and you control the room. The third practice is stand tall. Your body speaks before your mouth ever does. People make judgments about you in seconds, and your posture communicates whether you see yourself as strong or weak. If you walk with your shoulders hunched, your head down, and your movements small, You are telling the world that you doubt yourself. But when you stand upright, shoulders back, chest open, head held high, you project energy. You project strength. You project confidence. This does not mean arrogance. It simply means your body is aligned with the power inside you. The fourth practice is to embrace silence. Many people fear silence. They feel the need to fill every pause with chatter, jokes, or meaningless noise. But true confidence does not need constant noise. It is calm in stillness. When you allow silence in a conversation, you show that you are comfortable, that you do not need to fight for attention. Silence makes people pay attention more, not less. It also allows your words, when spoken, to carry more weight. Only the insecure feel the need to prove themselves with constant talking. The confident know that presence itself can be louder than words. Finally, the fifth practice is to do one hard thing every day. This is the real training ground of dark confidence. Each day, push yourself into discomfort, even in small ways. Approach a stranger and start a conversation. Say no when you really want to, even if it disappoints someone. Take a risk on something you've been avoiding. It doesn't matter how small. What matters is the habit of facing fear. Every time you step into discomfort, you train your confidence muscle. Over time, things that once terrified you will feel natural. And as you continue this practice, you will discover something powerful. Fear never disappears completely, but confidence grows bigger than the fear. If you make these practices part of your daily life, eye contact, slow speech, strong posture, silence, and daily challenges, you will notice transformation. Not in 1 week, not even in 1 month, but slowly, steadily, like a flame growing stronger each day. And one day you will look back and realize that you no longer doubt yourself the way you once did. You no longer beg for approval. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You will realize that you have built dangerous confidence, dark confidence, that cannot be taken away. Part 6. Stories of Dark Confidence. Let me share a story with you. One that can help you understand what dark confidence truly looks like in real life. There was a young man named David. He was quiet, shy, and constantly worried about what people thought of him. He avoided attention and rarely spoke up, even when he had ideas that could have made a difference. In meetings, he stayed in the background, nodding silently while others spoke. He wanted to contribute. He wanted to be heard. But fear held him back. Fear of judgment, fear of looking foolish, fear of rejection. All of it weighed heavily on him. One day, David made a simple but life-changing decision. He would no longer live for approval. He decided that the opinion of others would no longer control his actions. The very next day, he raised his hand in a meeting. His voice shook, his hands trembled slightly, but he spoke. He said what he believed, even though doubt ran through every word. The first time he tried, he felt embarrassed. People barely reacted. Some ignored him entirely. The second time, he tried again, and while he managed to speak more clearly, no one seemed to notice. The room felt cold and unwelcoming. But David did not give up. The third time he spoke, he made a strong, clear point. This time, someone laughed, a dismissive, mocking laugh. Most people would have stopped after that. Most people would have returned to the safety of silence. But David kept going. He kept speaking. He continued showing up, meeting after meeting, not letting the fear of others' reactions stop him. Slowly, people began to notice something different about him. His presence was calm. His words carried weight. He did not need to shout or argue to be heard. His quiet confidence started to draw attention. Months later, the transformation became visible to everyone. One day, during an important discussion, the manager turned to David for advice. Everyone in the room listened as he spoke. People who had ignored him before now respected his opinion. They realized that his quiet presence was powerful. It was steady. It was reliable. David had built dark confidence, not the loud, flashy kind that demands attention, but a deep, unshakable kind that naturally draws it. The lesson here is simple. Your story can be like David's. Dark confidence is not about sudden transformation. It is about showing up repeatedly, action by action, step by step. It is about facing fear, learning from failure, and continuing forward even when no one notices. Every small act of courage builds strength. Every time you act despite fear, your confidence grows. And one day, people will notice. They may not understand how you became so calm and unshaken. They may even feel uncomfortable around your strength. But they will respect it. Your journey to dark confidence does not need to be loud or showy. It only needs to be consistent, patient, and intentional. You build it by standing firm when others would shrink, by speaking up when others remain silent, by facing your fears and refusing to be controlled by approval or judgment. Step by step, moment by moment, you can become the kind of person whose presence cannot be ignored, whose calm strength inspires respect, and whose confidence is truly dangerous. Like David, you can transform from someone unseen and overlooked into a person who carries a quiet but powerful force, one that changes the way the world notices you. Part 7. The Final Transformation. My friend, here is the truth you need to hear. You do not need to become someone else to be confident. You do not need to copy the style, the words, or the actions of others. You do not need to pretend to be someone you are not. Dark confidence is not something outside of you, waiting for the right moment to arrive. It is already inside you. The strength, the calm, the presence you admire in others. These qualities already exist within your own mind and body. You only need to awaken them, to clear the layers that hide them, and to let them shine naturally. Dark confidence is not about adding more to yourself. It is not about forcing fake courage or putting on a performance. It is about removing the obstacles that stand in the way of your true self. Fear, doubt, and insecurity are the chains that block your confidence. They whisper lies into your mind. You are not enough. People will laugh. You will fail. The more you listen to these lies, the smaller you feel. The more you act on them, the weaker you become. The moment you begin to recognize these lies for what they are, the moment you strip them away, you create space for your inner power to emerge. It is like peeling layers of an onion. With every layer removed, fear, doubt, worry, seeking approval, you move closer to the core, your authentic self. That self is enough, more than enough. You do not need applause, validation, or recognition to prove it. Confidence does not come from what others think about you. It comes from what you know about yourself. When you realize that your true self is already powerful, you no longer act out of insecurity. You no longer seek permission. You no longer shrink in the presence of judgment. When you walk with dark confidence, everything changes. You stop chasing people's attention and approval. Instead, you naturally attract respect and admiration without even trying. You stop begging for opportunities or validation because you know your value and are willing to stand by it. You stop fearing failure because you understand that mistakes are not the end. They are lessons. You stop hesitating in moments that matter because you trust yourself and your abilities. You choose your path instead of following others' expectations. You act from strength, not fear. This is the power of being dangerously confident. It is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is calm, unshakable certainty in who you are and what you are capable of. It is a magnetic energy that cannot be ignored. People may not always understand it, and some may feel uncomfortable around it, but that is the sign of true strength. True confidence does not need approval. It only needs presence. It does not need applause. It only needs authenticity. And once you embrace this truth, your life changes. Every decision becomes easier, every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every moment becomes a chance to step fully into your power. So remember this, my friend. Dark confidence is not something you need to find outside yourself. It is not hidden in books, in people, or in magic formulas. It has always been inside you, waiting for you to claim it. The final transformation happens the day you stop pretending, stop seeking permission, and start living fully as the unshakable, calm, and powerful person you were always meant to be. That is the essence of dangerously confident living. Final words. Become dangerously confident. My friend, the world does not need more loud voices. It does not need more fake smiles. It does not need more people constantly seeking approval. The world needs something far rarer, far stronger. It needs people who stand firm, who walk with silent strength, who cannot be broken no matter what life throws at them. That person can be you. Today, you have already taken the first step toward becoming that person. Remember this clearly. Dark confidence is not about what you show to others. It is not about performing or trying to impress. It is about what you know inside yourself. Your value, your strength, your calm power. It is the quiet presence that changes a room without a single word. It is the energy that commands respect, not attention. And as you continue on this journey, your life will begin to shift. People will notice. They may not understand it. They may not even like it, but they will respect it. That is the true measure of dangerous confidence. Here on English Achieve, we focus not just on learning English, but on learning how to grow, to stand tall, and to become the best version of yourself. Dark confidence is part of that journey. Every step you take, every challenge you face, every time you act despite fear, you strengthen this inner power. You do not need to shout. You do not need to prove anything. You simply live with calm certainty and let the results speak for themselves. So from this day forward, walk differently. Speak differently. Think differently. Not with arrogance, not with weakness, but with the unshakable, unbreakable, and silent power of dark confidence. When you do this, the world will feel it. You will no longer be controlled by fear or opinion. You will no longer shrink in doubt. You will have become dangerously confident, and that is a power that cannot be taken away.